What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel, Yak Nasty Fishing. You know where you're at. In this episode, we're going to talk about the difference between fishing spots versus fishing patterns, okay? Because they are two different things, all right? Those fish are doing different things, they are biting different things, and we're getting ready to talk about it. So, before we get started, I just want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. I want to thank every single one of you. And I do appreciate the comments coming in. I think this channel is going to grow into something serious real soon. Real soon. All right. Thanks again. I appreciate the love. Hit that like, hit subscribe, and leave a comment down below. All right, guys. Let's get into it. Fishing spots versus fishing patterns. All right. So first off, we're going to start off by defining what a spot is and what a pattern is. And then we're going to go into some of the nuances of fishing those areas differently and how you can approach those. All right. So starting off with spots. It's pretty simple. It's exactly what it sounds like, just an area that is known to hold fish, all right? Yeah, man, go hit that spot over there. There's always fish holding. You know, there's always that guy telling you that fishes that body of water often, and sometimes it's me if you're in my local area. Go over there. There's always fish there. You may have to slow down. You may have to speed up, but there's fish over there, all right? That's a spot, an area that is known for holding fish, all right? Now, patterns, a lot different, can be just about the same, but patterns are really different. It's a totally different animal. A pattern, of course, you guys would know, a pattern is something that you can repeat over and over again, or something that's going to repeat, all right, like a zigzag line pattern, okay? Now, fishing patterns, they can have some deeper detail into it, but basically, you see that the fish are sitting on the lay down, okay? You know, sitting in about 4 foot of water. Well, you can pretty much go all around that body of water and catch those fish right in those same areas on laydowns, 4 foot of water. Okay, that's your pattern. That's not a spot because that pattern can change every day. Those fish can come out deeper. They can go up, get a little shallower. Okay, they can move all together. And now they want to be at the edge of lily pads. And fish are only biting at the edges of lily pads. All right, guys. So that's the difference between fishing spots and patterns for the most part. All right. Very general overview of those things. So when I'm speaking spots, areas that are known for holding fish, and patterns where I got to go around the lake and just duplicate this, you know, and get those bites. So when it goes into fishing spots, normally those are your community holes, all right? Those community holes, everybody knows, Jim, Bob, Johnny, everyone, Timmy, Tommy, Stacy, Tina, you name it, they know that the fish are there all the time. So when they come and they're doing some old fun fishing, they know to go over there because normally there's fish holding right there in that particular area. And that is always, okay? That's a guarantee, all right? And unless there's a real crazy weather going on, you know, to be honest, it's always like that. I've been many places where they have spots, okay? That's just how you do it. Now, when you're fishing spots, you got a lot of good things that can happen from fishing spots, even though everyone knows it's a community hole, right? Everyone knows about it. One thing you can do with a spot is fish it. The bite dies down, leave, come back, you know, fish it, get another bite or two, leave, come back. So you can do that all day long on a spot, and catch at least 1 to 2 fish, depending on what you're fishing for, species and all that good stuff. But generally, you could do that. They reload. These fish cycle through spots, okay? They're in, they're out, they're getting caught. Those that are biting, okay, are not the ones biting later on when you come back and catch more. These fish are cycling through, in and out, in and out. There's constant movement. So that spot, wherever it is, on your body of water, your pond, your lake, your river, that spot is holding something significant to fish, period. Okay, something significant. It could be food, could be the current, it could be, the bottom contour, could be like a hump or something. You never know. Could be a stump there. It's different in different bodies of water on why these fish are sitting there, but that spot generally has fish. Always, all the time. All the time. Sometimes you got to make them bite, but all the time. All right. So that is a big key thing, a pro, I should say, of fishing spots. Now, a very big con to fishing the spots that I've already mentioned is everybody knows about it. Everyone's fishing over top of you. Sometimes those fish are just getting beat on where you got to bypass the spot because there's 5 boats right on that spot. All right. That's a negative. That means, man, I got to go somewhere else. I had plans to just come here and sit, probably anchor up, do my thing, just sit here and fish. But there's 5 guys already there. I don't know what I'm going to do, right? Some situations happen like that where you haven't mapped out. I'm going to go right here, sit, and I'm going to catch these fish. All right. And there's 5, 7 guys over there already fishing. They all look bored because they're not catching anything because that area and that spot have been kind of pressured. So these fish, they're a little bit leery about everything when they see that kind of pressure. All right. That is a huge negative to me. So when I see those spots in my bodies of water, I just move on. Okay. I'm fixated on catching fish. I like to go catch them. All right. Now, you don't always get what you want, but I'm, in my mind, going to catch fish. And sitting here, looking at a bunch of guys bored, they might be drinking a brewski or something, just talking from bow to bow, yeah, man, they were biting good yesterday, but I don't know what happened today, depending on the time of day. It's a lot to it, right? It is a lot to fishing a spot. But it's easy, it's fun. It's an awesome thing to do, especially when you're first getting out there on the water. Get to those community holes, get your confidence up, get down with catching the fish on the water, bringing it in, getting used to that feeling. All right. Yeah, it's a very good thing for beginners or anybody trying to build their confidence. Maybe you just didn't fish in a little while and, you got that, oh, I'm back on the water jitters. So that first bite always gets you back in the game. It's like riding a bike, you throw that out there, you get that first bite and it comes back to you. You're excited. You even might overhook set it, but you get your confidence back up. Then you can start roaming around the lake. And when you start roaming around the lake, we're looking for patterns. Now we're looking for big fish, right? Now we're looking for those real serious bites, okay? Especially if you're tournament fishing. But when you're just out there having a good time, which I'm always out there, no matter what, tournament or not, but I say fun fishing so we can differentiate, that's the word, differentiate. I don't know. That's how we could tell the difference between what I'm saying, all right? So now, when we get to moving around this lake, this body of water, this river, to start to look for the pattern, these bigger fish, quality bites. Oh yeah, now we're hunting. Now we're on the lookout, right? We're throwing at rocks, some riprap, all right? That's what we're throwing at. We're throwing at lumber, structure, cover, all right? We get a fish on one of those pieces of cover. Now we know, okay, here, the dock had a fish on it, all right? Now, you know, in the back of your mind, it could be on docks. It could be on docks, but this is only one fish. I don't know. It's not a pattern yet, but let's find out. So on your way to the next dock, you're fishing laydowns, cover, all right? That riprap, some gravel, maybe some shell beds, all right? Where are they biting the most at? Oh man, every time I hit a dock, there's one or two fish on the dock. Okay, now we have a pattern. So now we're running around the lake, hitting docks. Now these docks may hold 2-pounders. They may just have a consistent number. Sometimes that's what it is. Sometimes it fluctuates. Like it'll be a 5-pounder over here and a 1-pounder over there. But you know, let's say all these docks, they just have, 2-pounders on them. Man, I mean, they're on the docks. That's a pattern for the smaller fish. Man, they're on the docks. All right, let's figure some things out. Where are the bigger fish, right? And then you look for the big fish pattern. Yeah. And then you find it somewhere. It could be anywhere. Let's just say it's on laydowns right now. Then you can run around that whole body of water on that pattern. You know fish are there. Okay. And if you start to see better quality of fish and a pattern with that better quality of fish, then you're on to something. All right. That's when you're starting to really break down. Okay. Now they're hitting 4 foot of water off this laydown. All right. 6 foot of water off the laydown. Oh, maybe they're just hitting in those deep overhanging brush piles, right? So you got your overhanging brush and then they're only biting back here. Okay. Where this thing, it's not really touching the water, but it's just barely over it. And that's the only place they're biting. It's crazy, but that's how patterns work. All right. So that's a big pro with patterns is once you find it, you can duplicate it around the body of water. All right. I haven't seen much else. You normally catch a bigger quality of fish, a better quality, I should say, of fish, bigger fish. It's normally a very fun, bite. You feel like Dick Tracy, Inspector Gadget. You trying to figure it out. Sherlock Holmes on the water, trying to figure out what the fish want, how they want it, where they're sitting. It's a very fun process. I enjoy doing it. And I will just roam around the lake until I find fish. I'll just start catching fish. And we're on, baby. We are on. Once I realize a pattern, I am on it, okay? Just like some of the clips you're seeing here is from when I went out a couple weeks ago. I fished that lizard. I found a pattern, okay? They were sitting deep down in the shade there, you know what I mean? You toss that lizard down in there and you're getting it, okay? I found that pattern. I stuck with that pattern for a couple hours, just having some fun, man. Having some fun. Like, oh, okay. Now I'll slow it down. They want it with the very slow fall. Okay. Oh, that bigger quality fish. That's what they're doing. Okay. That's the pattern. Okay. And sometimes that pattern is totally different. But once you get on that pattern, you are on that pattern. All right. So another big pro to fishing patterns is you learn a lot more from the fish's behavior. Yeah, you learn a lot more from the fish's behaviors, or you learn a lot more about fish behaviors. What are they doing over there? How are they doing it? How are they setting up? All right. You don't get to learn that really with spots. You just know I throw it right here. And if I do this, it's going to bite. All right. We might know that they're biting on crawls or something like that, or shad, but we know in this spot, they're going to bite. All right. With patterns, you got to kind of work it out. It's that mystery about it. So you have to figure out that mystery, and catch those fish. But once you get on it, you feel like you achieved something because you really worked that patterning out. Okay. So that's one thing I can say, guys, about fishing patterns that I really love about it is just doing the detective work, doing the dirty work, and getting the job done. So yeah, guys, you really get to do the fun work and really put the studies in and then get rewarded with catching the better quality fish, guys. But fishing spots is really not so bad. So when you're seeing like like in this case, I'm fishing a bridge. I know that this spot right here holds fish. And on this particular day, it was catching nice fish. Quality fish were sitting in that spot. All right. And it's known to have fish there. I mean, this particular spot is really known to keep, 2-3 pound bass on it. All right. But the right time, of course, the right day, all that good stuff like that. The weather does play a part on the quality of fish you're going to catch in this particular spot right here in front of this bridge. But when you get on it just right, man, it is nothing better than to catch 3, 4, 5, 3-pounders, 4-pounders, and 5-pounders just sitting in one spot, just chucking it and bringing it right across that spot and getting bit. So they're both very, very fun ways to catch fish, guys. And if you ask me which one's better, I'm going to say finding the pattern is better. Okay? Because you really put some thought deep into it. You found out how to catch those bigger fish that particular day and time. And, it's more rewarding. All right. Not saying that spots aren't rewarding. Of course they are, as you see fishing that bridge right there. But to put in the work, the effort, the thought to figure out the detective work behind it all and solve that mystery of what are 5-pounders or 4-pounders or 3-pounders biting on today. All right. What baits are making them do this? What's making them do that? And getting that bite, it's just more rewarding. So I would rather fish patterns. All right. But the biggest con to fishing the patterns is it takes a lot of time, guys. Sometimes it'll take half the fishing day just to figure a pattern out. Yeah. Yeah. So that's just the biggest con to pattern fishing. And that's really the only negative I can find, when thinking about fishing patterns. I like to go around. I like to travel the lake. I like to look at all the cover structure and what we got in our bodies of water. So I don't mind exploring. All right. I don't mind the expedition. All right. From start to finish. All right. Some guys just want to go catch some fish for 2 hours and come on back in. Well, I would suggest that you go fish spots. All right. So, yeah, man. Hey, I hope that this video helped out and get out there and get on some patterns and figure out how to catch those fish on your body of water, guys. Good luck. And with that being said, it's my time, tight lines, and all that good stuff everybody says. Peace.